What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the King's Court with me, Vincent Miracle, for Fansided.com, GoldenGateSports.com. Whether you're on the app or online, I want to thank you guys all for making me a part of your day. Now, DeMarcus Cousins has been suspended for one game, the February 28th against the Lakers, which is the day I'm actually filming this video, so if you're watching it today, for today's game, against the Lakers, because of trying to throw a punch at Houston Rockets point guard Patrick Beverley. On top of that, he was also fined $20,000 from the league for the rampage he went on against the referee during a timeout. Now, DeMarcus Cousins, he needs to learn to grow up, because he got paid that max money over the offseason. And yes, he has shown progression in his attitude and his mood, but he is still leading the league in technicals, and he is now suspended for throwing a punch and was fined $20,000 for going on that rampage against that referee. And the reason why I say he needs to grow up now, because I've been on a very big defense for DeMarcus Cousins. I've been a big supporter of his all season, and I'm still going to be a big supporter. I'm a fan of DeMarcus Cousins. Do not get me wrong. He is one of my favorite players on this entire team. But there's a time where he needs to learn that the game needs to just be played. He needs to stop mean-mugging the referee while going up and down the court. He needs to play the game and let the game speak for himself. The more you argue, the more you're baiting them to call a technical on you. And he doesn't know when to stop yet. He doesn't know when to stop. He just keeps egging him on. And the only positive I saw out of all of that arguing was one thing. Rudy Gay stepped up as a leader and pulled him away and tried to talk to him. Did it work? No. Because DeMarcus Cousins wanted to keep talking and keep going on about what had happened on a previous call. Now, was the technical a big thing? Because you saw the replay. It looked like he wasn't saying anything to the referee, but who knows what he was actually saying. I don't read lips, so I don't know exactly what he was saying, but he must have not been saying anything, very good, because he got teed up while just talking, talking stuff in the air or to the person standing next to him while the opponents were shooting free throws. He got teed up, mean-mugging the referee up and down the floor, just eyeballing him. And then on that next timeout, while Coach Michael Malone is arguing with that same referee, DeMarcus Cousins comes over and goes on that rampage. Not smart. Not smart. You got paid the max money, DeMarcus. You're the leader of this Sacramento Kings franchise. There's a point where you have to realize the game is more important than the calls that are being made. Example, 2002, the same team you are on, Game 6, I'm bringing it up. Those calls were terrible. They were completely terrible. That's one of the worst reffings you'll ever see in the NBA. There's actually a thing on the news that it was rigged. But do you know what that team did? They played through it. They argued, but they didn't stop playing. They were in the game until the end. And that's what these Kings need to do. DeMarcus Cousins need to shut his mouth and just play the game. Now, I understand that the game gets rough. I understand that. And I understand that some of these calls that he gets are completely bogus. Some of the technicals he gets, he's right. I saw the interview. They're not technicals. But how do you avoid a technical? You shut your mouth. That's the realest you can get about it. He needs to be quiet. Now, he cannot like me for it if you ever watch this video and say, I need to shut my mouth, because, that's probably true. I'm a spectator that gets to watch it, comment on it, write articles about it, take judgment on DeMarcus Cousins, because he's in that spotlight. He's the leader of the franchise that I root for. And when I see the leader of this team doing rampages like this, trying to start fights with other players instead of just playing the game and trying to win the game, is completely ridiculous. DeMarcus Cousins, if he wants to take his game to the next level, if he wants to be named an all-star, if he wants to be known as the best center in this league, better than Dwight Howard, He needs to control that attitude. And that's not going to happen when he's running up and down the court. Again, just eyeballing. They need veteran leaders on this Kings team. Someone who can pull them in and say, just shut your mouth. Rudy Gay tried to do it, and yet DeMarcus Cousins kept going on. And again, I'll say it again. He is right. If you haven't seen the interview yet, there was an interview. He was asked, do you think that you should let Coach Michael Malone take over some of these arguments for you, take on some of these battles for you? And he says, I'm just paraphrasing here, but he said, just let me be honest, but a lot of the fouls I get, technical fouls I get, aren't really technicals. And you know what? He's true. That is true. That is right. Some of the technical fouls he gets are completely out of nowhere. Some of the fouls he gets are completely out of nowhere. The game is very... You can't lay a finger on anybody in the NBA anymore. But, that being said, you know the rules. You know the little label that is next to your name. When referees come into a game, they know DeMarcus Cousins equals hothead. DeMarcus Cousins, watch your whistle. Hold your whistle tight. Get ready to blow it. That's exactly what the referees are thinking when they come to Sacramento or when they're about to referee a Sacramento Kings game. They know DeMarcus Cousins. You don't think referees talk? You don't think the league notices? Everyone notices. And DeMarcus Cousins needs to realize that. To take his game to the next level, he needs to take that mentality he has, that mental state, wherever he is, the moods, he needs to learn to contain them and just take it out on the rim. Take it out on the ball. Stop taking it out on the referees and trying to make excuses and argue. There's really no point for it. The team lost because of it. Of course, the team was down after the first quarter. But the fact that you did all of that, now you put the team out. The Kings are not good without DeMarcus Cousins. They haven't won a game when he was out. When he was out, they didn't win a single game. So he knows his importance to the team. For him to still do that is completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. And so now the Kings are going up against the Lakers. You just don't know what else you can say. I mean, it's things that have already been said before. It's the things that hurt his draft stock. It's the things that the Kings fans and the Kings franchise has been dealing with it for years. And you know what? Before I move on, actually, I'm going to touch on this. There's a lot of fans out there that could say, well, if that were me, I'd be doing the same thing. The referee was just blowing the whistle. To those people, I say, you're getting paid a max contract in the NBA. Or near max contract, I'm sorry. You're getting paid near the max contract. You have been given the keys to this franchise. They have named you the leader. They have named you the centerpiece. They have named you the first option on the floor. And you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're not going to get paid for one game. You're going to put the team that you are on in a worse position to win a game. And that's okay with you? That's exactly what you do because a ref blew a technical? Because a ref blew a wrong foul? No. No. You don't do that. To those fans, I'd say grow up. Because that's you're in the same mindset. You need to grow up if you have that mindset. There's no way you're gonna you put a team that is your team that the franchise gave you the keys to the team, and you basically throw yourself out of the game. You just don't do that. So now the Kings they're in LA. They're taking on the struggling night and day difference of a team from last year to this year, LA Lakers. And no matter what, I don't care how bad this Lakers team is. When I see Kings and Lakers, you know I'm tuning in. I tune into every Kings game, but Kings and Lakers, you know I'm tuning in from first quarter tip-off to after the show, listening to Grant and Jerry do their talks. I stay for it all. And I'll even be on the radio listening to, you know, Gary Gerald and Jason Ross and all of them, because I love Kings and Lakers rivals. Bringing up the Game 6. I know that's hard for some Kings fans to hear and reminisce on if you were watching at that time. Watching that game was one of the roughest things to see. But Kings Lakers, that rival, every time I hear Kings Lakers, you know you got to tune in. The Kings have got to find a way to bounce back after that Rockets game. It was a terrible game. They did not come out to play. The DeMarcus Cousins fiasco happened. You know, this game right here is one of those games where Rudy Gay, you're really going to see what he can do. I also think this is a game where you're going to see Coach Michael Malone use a lot of his bench, meaning he's going to be using a lot of Ray McCallum. I think Ben McLemore is going to get a lot of playing time today. Rudy Gay is going to take the reins. He'll probably be that first option, while Isaiah Thomas is probably right up there with him. You know, he's going to be shooting the basketball. He's going to be trying to redeem himself. And I think you're going to see a lot of Reggie Evans tonight. Hopefully, there's a report that Carl Landry might start this game. Great. Hope he gets some good playing time, good action in there. But I have a strong feeling Reggie Evans is going to see some time on the floor. Jason Thompson. There's going to be a lot of different options they're going to try and do down there for the center position because DeMarcus is out. But there's no one really on the Lakers that you're just like, okay, we need this certain player to guard him. The only player on that roster that you have to think about is Pau Gasol. Because Kent Bazemore, he's going off, but he's a gunner. He's a shoot first. I got the ball. I'm very athletic, but his IQ on the floor is very, very low. You have Kendall Marshall, who can knock down a wide open three, but really has no jump shot other than if he's just standing still. He has great vision. You know, Wesley Johnson is a good defender, so he'll be probably guarding Rudy Gay, more than likely guarding Rudy Gay. Excuse me. So it's just basically the Kings going up a B list of, you know, players for the Lakers. And it's, like I said, it's a complete night and day roster from the Lakers of last year when they had Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant. They brought in Steve Nash thinking he'd do stuff. You know, Nash is still on the roster, but of course he's injured, and his father time has got to him. And Kobe's still injured off that treadmill, so this game is one of those games where the Kings should win it. Now, will they? I don't know. I don't know if they'll win it, but this is the game they should win. They have all the talent. They're coming off a bad loss to the Rockets, who they've beaten twice this season and now lost twice. So they went 50-50 on that series, but they're coming off a very bad loss against the Rockets. They need to come back against the Lakers and redeem themselves. And, you know, this is just... Does this game really matter in case of the winning brackets? Like, brackets, you know, you can have 21 wins or you can have 38 losses. You know, it really doesn't matter, of course. But the fact that I've said it so many times, you want to show Rudy Gay that you're progressing. You want to show that you're making the right steps and that this young talent that you have, you know, that potential is there for them. And that's what you're going for in each game. And against these Lakers, where the talent is not very high, it's one of those games where the Kings really need to win. Are they going to win? I don't know. Should they win? Yes. Is it one that they need to win? I mean, no, but yes. If that makes any sense. Alright, everybody, we're getting to that time of the video where I answer all of your questions that you guys have sent to me. Now, if you have a question that you want to get on the show, you can email your questions to me at kingscourtpodcast@gmail.com. Again, the email is kingscourtpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @VMCenter. That is VM and then center. VM and then center. Yeah, so that you can see me all in there. And you can tweet me your questions, email me your questions, and yeah, of course, I'll answer them as best as I can. And the next time I have a video, which is every Tuesday and every Friday, I will gladly answer your question and give you out your shoutouts. So let's get to those questions that we have on the docket for today. So the very first question comes from excuse me, fellow follower, fellow subscriber, King Nandez Ryan. What do you think of the Kings signing Orlando Johnson to a 10-day contract? Will he be a King next year? I think signing Orlando Johnson was a smart idea because it's just a 10-day contract. It's not like the Kings are signing him for the rest of the season. It's not like they're signing him for next year. You're seeing what he can do. And he was on the Pacers team for a little while. He got to learn that defense. He was already known as a defensive, athletic type of player. Someone who needs to work on his jump shot. But he's a cool guy. The Kings actually drafted second round in that draft where they got Isaiah Thomas. So it's just basically to come around full circle. It's just coming back to where it was. I saw the interview with him. He says he's happy to be in Sacramento. He already knows his role. He's going to be a role player. And that's what he's best at, is a role player. So what I think about it is I think it's just a smart way to see what he can do. He's not signed for next year. He's signed for this 10 days. And will he be a King next year? Depends on how he plays on the floor. If he plays well, if he shows he can play that defense. I've heard a lot of great things about his practices. I've heard that he's impressed a lot of the coaches from what he can do. So if he can continue impressing the team, impressing the coaches, and showing that he's everything that they expect him to be, then yeah, he'll be a King next year. I don't see why not. So thank you for your question, King and is right. One King 909 asks, do you think DMC's bad attitude is reflecting lack of leadership to the whole team? No, but I think it's showing lack of leadership upon himself when that was one of the biggest things he needed to learn, was how to become a leader of this team. And the only leadership I saw was when Rudy Gay pulled him aside and try to talk him down. Because a real leader isn't just a leader when they're winning. A real leader is there when they're losing and at their lowest points. That's a real leader. And right now the Kings are at their lowest points. And DeMarcus Cousins is not going to be on the floor tonight. So is it reflecting bad leadership on the team? No. There's other players on this team. And, excuse me, I had to pop my ears. But there's other leaders on this team. Rudy Gay is a leader. Isaiah Thomas is a leader. But he's supposed to be your centerpiece. DeMarcus Cousins, I get it. He plays with a passion on his, he plays with his heart on his sleeves, basically. And he plays with a lot of passion. But he needs to learn to put that passion in the right direction, because the way he's doing it now is completely wrong. So is a lack of leadership, again, around the whole team? No, it's not lack of leadership upon the whole team because there's other leaders upon the team. But it's lack of leadership upon himself. It's just showing how much more he still needs to grow to become an elite center in this league. So, One King 909, thank you for your question. Jeff Day, what free agents do you see that would be interested in signing with the Kings next season? I said this on the last video. I think what free agents would want to sign here would probably be players that want playing time. I will say this again, is the Kings need to go off and sign specialty type players. Players like a Ronnie Brewer, a Tony Allen, Steve Novak, players that just come in and have one niche as either a 3-point specialist or a great defender or just a great passer. Something that is key to them. That's why the signing of Luke Mbah-a-Moute early this season was, I thought, a great pickup, or the trade, I should say. Picking up Luke Mbah-a-Moute was a great plan. He was a great defender. Now, do they get talent back? Yeah, Derek Williams is great talent. I still think he has a lot of potential to show. He's still young, very athletic. But what free agents will want to sign in Sacramento? Not that many. The Sacramento market's not a big market for where free agents want to come. But what free agents do the Kings go after would be, specialty type of players. So that's where I can go from that. So Jeff Day, thank you for your question, my friend. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already hit it. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. John Lerox. Hope I pronounced your name right. Will the Kings look for a true point guard and still sign Thomas as a sixth man? Will the Kings look for a true point guard? I hope so. That's really what they need. They need a true point guard. You can say Isaiah Thomas is playing great, and you're right. He is playing great, and he's played his way into that money. But the Kings need a point guard who can do it all. And Thomas Robinson, I don't know why I said his name, but Isaiah Thomas is a player who is very offensive skilled. He's very quick, very crafty. But the problem is he's my height. He's 5'9", 5'8". And so automatically he gives up, a lot on defense because of his size. Now, is he very strong? Yeah, he's very strong. He tries to play man as best as he can, but someone can shoot over him with ease because of how they can shoot. If they can put their arms over him, he can shoot. He plays with a lot of heart, and that's why you said as a sixth man, he has that talent to be a great sixth man. The problem with the Kings signing him as a sixth man is Isaiah Thomas doesn't think he's a sixth man. Isaiah Thomas believes, and should believe, he's played this way, that he is a starter in this league, that he should be a starter in the NBA, like he is right now. And it's true. He has played very, very well. He's played in a way in the money that he completely deserves, and hope he gets as much as he can get during this offseason. And who knows, it could be with the Kings. But do I see the Kings going after a true point guard? Yes. Do I see the Kings bringing back Isaiah Thomas to be in that six-man role? I don't. I really don't. So, thank you, John, for your question and all your support and viewing, and I hope you subscribe to the video. Alright, let's see here. I got two more questions here. Talk about who we should draft from Chasen Martinson. My favorite player out of this draft class is Marcus Smart. I know he had that little incident where he pushed a fan and stuff like that, but, we don't know what was said. It's that same guy who he pushed has been in incidents before where he has, tried to, make gestures to players on the floor, and who knows, he might have said a racial slur. I know he said he didn't say that, but it came out, but there was a rumor going around that he did. Like I said, we don't know what was said, but the way Marcus Smart has played, he plays very well. The way he plays, he's great at defending. Another player I really, really like is Syracuse guy, Tyler Ennis. I think that's his name. He's a great defender. He looks to pass. His potential seems like it's very, very high. I know a lot of people like Dante Exum. I'm always on NBADraft.net where they tell you where their projections are for each team and who they should be picking. And Dante Exum, I saw a couple of his videos. Excuse me. And they compare him to Penny Hardaway, but I don't know. I can kind of see him being very good in this league as well. So who should they draft? It's gonna be a point guard. I don't see why they wouldn't pick up a point guard. But the player that I really like as of right now is Marcus Smart. After that, I like Tyler Ennis, and then my third pick would be Dante Exum. So that's my talk about the draft. And I'll get more about the draft during the offseason. I don't want to get too much into it right now because when the season's over, then I can do a lot more research on it. The season's still ongoing, so don't worry. These draft questions will come back up, and I'll have way better answers for you. So thank you, Chasen, for your question. And last question is from Rezi37. Do you like this 10-day contract we just offered? Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where you're just seeing what kind of talent he is, what kind of player that he is, how good he can actually be. So I really like it. I also like that the Kings are looking at Royce White. I know there's all that drama about him having anxiety about flying, but I mean, you're just seeing the talent. You're paying him for 10 days, and that's not official. That has not happened yet. So don't say that's happened because Vince said it happened. But you know, it's just one of those things where it's good to see what you can get out of these players, and if these players would be a good fit for your team on a 10-day contract. So that's the video I have for today. Go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys liked and disliked about this video, what you agreed and didn't agree with. Again, if you have a question, you can email your questions to kingscourtpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter. I'm at VM Center. And of course, I'm always on the Kings app, again, on there.